Your Excellencies, thank you very much for joining me today on this panel where we are actually discussing about the most valuable thing each country has, the biggest treasure each country has, namely its youth. In Saudi Arabia has undertaken a huge change during Vision 2030 and education reforms, and so have the United Arab Emirates. Your Excellency, innovation and digital transformation and STEM education is a huge part of your education. So you have included AI, robotics, and also coding into school curricula. Your Excellency, Alamira, will you tell us a little bit more about this, achieving this technology transfer into your education system? Mic, we have the mic. Can somebody help us with the mic? Oh, yes.
Assalamu alaikum, and a very good morning to everyone. First off, I'd like to thank the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for hosting this wonderful initiative that puts at the forefront human capability development above and beyond the how and the means by which we achieve it. To your question, Your Excellency, the UAE has been, and not by choice, but by a means to expedite development, a quick adopter of technologies across every single sector. The education sector has also been a vital sector to be a technology adopter in. We have invested quite extensively, well over a decade in EdTech. Our EdTech has infused within it AI capabilities to provide a personalized learning experience within the classroom, enable educators to be able to push forward the education process, and more importantly, create more impactful development of capabilities. But I'd like to reform and reshape the discussion based on the advent of a new technological tool, artificial intelligence, which is quite different and a paradigm shift than every single other technology that has either infused or come into the lives of the children in each nation and each community, and at the same time into the education sector. What AI brings forward is a new mechanism to harness our approach to education, a new mechanism to have more information at your fingertips, but there is another side to that conversation. What we need to focus on in education is the following. Today we're talking about the development of capabilities and skills. AI brings forward to it an ability to reason or a different formulation of reasoning. If it's introduced too early, we might not develop the right skills in students at an early age. Therefore, there needs to be a revisiting on what skills do we need to work on. There's a strong lifeline link between reading and writing and the development of reasoning. That should not fall through the cracks in our priorities in education when we're adopting technology. Second, AI can harness and expedite our learning process, but there's a cognitive development process that goes into the lives of every student and child as they're growing up, which is combating challenges, being able to seek knowledge in the toughest of mechanisms, and not always having the answer at the tip of your fingertip. It is that builds creativity, builds resilience, builds an ability to continuously learn in the future. Our paradigm shift as policymakers in education today is not to think of AI as another EdTech tool that will support our education process, but to rethink the mechanism for the first time on how we evolve our education policy development, our curriculum development, centered around the human, ensuring that AI is a tool that is introduced at the right time to expedite that development. This is what we're currently doing in the UAE when it comes to introducing further technologies into education in a purposeful mechanism, understanding the human development journey and ensuring that the capabilities are enhanced and addressed at the right ages as we're moving forward so that we can appropriately embrace the power that AI will bring to our communities and to our economies.
Thank you very much. So AI is definitely key to our lives, but the other thing, what we need to lead a very good life is, of course, nature. And I would like to come to His Excellency from Shafeo, from the Maldives. So you have the most beautiful islands in the world. We all love them. But you have also a challenge with it. This is the geography of your country, the islands which are dispersed. And I've heard you have satellite schools. And you're doing a lot and investing a lot to include all the students into the same type of education using digital tools for that. So can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Yes. Thank you. Let me also echo our gratitude to His Excellency Minister, the government of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, for inviting us and to be among such a distinguished panel. Yes, Maldives is a very small country, vulnerable to climate change. We are about 200 islands people live in, while we do have over 1,200 islands altogether in the Maldives. So our communities are separated by sea, one from the other. So this, of course, in terms of bringing in education, it provides us with a lot of challenges. However, within the last 30, 40 years, we have put a lot of effort in ensuring that education, human development is made a key priority in the nation, and ensure that there is schooling provided in every island, including access to even technical vocational education. And for this, of course, we have to harness the technologies that come in. Even with the islands with populations or schools populations of less than 50 students, we ensure that there are teachers made available, there are resources that are made available in them. And I think the internet has paved the way and to provide us with that. In the earlier years, we, of course, started using radios to ensure that we reach out, but I think over the years, things have changed a lot. In 2017, around that time, as a key new initiative, we made sure that we provided one-to-one tablets to every student in the Maldives, and it came as a blessing when COVID hit us, because that provided us the opportunity for us to provide online learning for every kid in the system to continue their education. Well, talking about challenges of distance and isolation, getting a teacher of the capacity that we require in every school remains a challenge. And that's the reason why a satellite schooling that was provided through online learning for specific subjects. It might not be a full length of or full school programs provided, but we may have a shortage of a physics teacher, a biology teacher, or a language teacher, in which case what we do is we then partner or identify key teachers that are there who could support in the process, and through using the technologies facilitate that access. Fortunately, however isolated we are, I think we have good connectivity across the Maldives. I think thanks to the tourism sector, which is well advanced. So in terms of providing internet access to these places, we also ensure that there is 5G, 4G internet access being made available to all islands. So it facilitates in us ensuring that these technologies are made use of in order to provide these essential social services to the people. Thank you.
No, it's great to hear how the life of young people change all around the world due to the digital transformation. Now let's come to Nigeria with one of the youngest and fastest growing population. Your home, Your Excellency Alausa. You're doing a lot of programs in Nigeria. I've read before, and we have also talked. You have Skill Up Nigeria. You have a universal basic education program. So how do you achieve this, that you offer both the foundational education on the one hand side for all the young people, and then the high-level one, like STEM, for those who are continuing in their education? And you have so many young entrepreneurs there. We are passionate about to hear about you, what you're telling us.
Thank you so much. Let me first begin by thanking the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for this expansive conference on human capability initiative, where leaders, policymakers, educationalists, and business have gathered together. This is extremely important, spreading this learning experience and opportunities beyond Saudi Arabia to the entire part of the world. We, on behalf of the government of Nigeria, I thank the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and more importantly to our host, His Excellency Yusuf Abdulaziz Abayan. Thank you so much for this invite. Now, to go directly to your question, we have a unique demographic in Nigeria. About 220 million people, with 70% of these 220 million people below the ages of 30 years. Very unique. We have a huge untapped demographic, 65 million people between the ages of 15 and 29, 5 million people entering the workforce every year. And unfortunately, we also have the problem of having one of the highest out-of-school children in the world, with about 15 million people. So what this government, we have directional and longitudinal focus on what we're doing as we tackle our as we advance our universal basic education skill. I'll give a little bit synopsis of what the universal basic, at the foundational level, we have the pre-primary education at about 5 years, and we have 6 years of primary education and 3 years of junior secondary education. We have this translating into 9 years of compulsory foundational education. So what are we doing to imagine and equip this youthful population for the future? We've recently undergone extensive curriculum review, where we've incorporated digital literacy and some emerging technology like AI into our curriculum. We've also added 12 new trades into our foundational learning, so that we can begin to build children at an earlier age as they grow up, to develop, to give them lifelong skill sets. And what we've also done with our curriculum review is to focus on how we move our teachers in terms of content delivery and lesson plan. We're giving a tablet to all the teachers in the foundational level school, the primary school, and the junior secondary school aspect of our foundational learning. And also, we're moving from static-based education to more of complementary and experiential learning. We're also moving our examination from standardized testing more towards competency-based testing and professional testing. As we do this, we hope to expand the knowledge we're giving to our young children at the foundational learning. And you talked about a Skill Up Nigeria, which, because we know we have a huge young population, we have to prepare them for the job of the future. We have a National Skill Council now, headed by the Vice President of the country as the chairman and myself as the vice chairman. So what we've done is to amalgamate all the various skills that we're giving our children. We have an expansive focus on TVET, Technical Vocational Education and Training, where we've designed the entire TVET program in incentivizing young Nigerians to seek technical skills, and also building a new value chain in the education system, where government is paying for the tuition, so that there can be more funds available to those schools to build new workshops, recruit new teachers, and help improve teachers' professional development. And as well, we're focusing heavily on practical training, where the curriculum is designed, where 80% of the curriculum is on practical skill and only 20% of the curriculum on didactics. And as we do this, we aim to give them life skills that they will use in being able to be useful to themselves, to the community they live, and the country at large. And also, we have expansive focus on a digital technology academy, where we're equipping young Nigerians with skill sets like in area of proactive security, cloud computing, IT automation, AI, machine learning. So as we do this, we hope that to prepare these young children for Nigeria, not for Nigeria alone, but for the global society. Thank you.
Yes, so you're investing a lot, and you're creating a lot of startup entrepreneurs, I've also heard. So thank you for sharing with us. So, Your Excellency Albanian, we've heard a lot from your guests about their programs and what they do, and we have something in common. We both come from industry, and I know you share this passion. And as part of Vision 2030, how is now Saudi Arabia working to align the education system with the future needs for the jobs that are here, especially when we look at the technology needs and the innovation?
Well, first of all, thank you very much. If you look at the HCI theme, one of it is learn. And I'm very pleased today sitting next to their excellencies that we are sharing their knowledges, and I think we are activating one of the main theme of our conference. We need to learn from each other in order for us really to create a stronger outcomes for the most important elements, the current and future generations. I mean, let's be more candid. We are blessed that we have a very clear vision called 2030. The vision has been able to articulate for us the end of state. We want to have a vibrant society, we want to have an ambitious nation, and a thriving economy. If you want to achieve this destination, is the only way for you to focus on human capital development. And I think this is a very important recognition how the vision has taken this into considerations. And this is clearly by having a dedicated program, it's called Human Capital Development Program, shared by His Royal Highness. It's a very clear message how we put the right emphasis. And if we look at the programs, has really looked into the entire ecosystem and make sure that we activate the entire elements that is required for us to beef up our human capital developments. And make sure also we have the right focus and the right resources, and we put the right energy where it really matters. And I think this is very important because human capital development programs or initiatives is a wide range. But we need to make sure there is a specific focus that is going to activate and enable you to achieve your objectives. And of course, this is based on each nation's opportunities and challenges. And if we're going to make sure that we are fully aligned with the market, with the labor markets, I think it's very important that we have to get an agile system that has the ability to really respond to the local requirement and the market needs. But also our vision not only to meet the market needs, our vision to make sure that our education system, and more importantly, the higher education system, to create a new industry that can create a new jobs. I think education is not only responsive of what the market needs only, but also has a responsibility to create a new industry through R&D. And this is one of our main focus. But if I want to specifically point certain elements related to market alignments, we have to look at it from the beginning, the early start. If we look at, for example, today we announced launching our National Curriculum Center. We want to make sure that we do have the right mix between knowledge, skills, and values. And we need to distill this on the beginning, on the early childhood programs, where we have, at this point of time, we have been able to achieve 36.7%, where we started on 2019 around maybe 21%, and our aim to reach 90% in 2030. We need to start from the early childhood We need to start also from changing the curriculum and make sure it has the proper focus on developing the skills requirement. Not only that, also the government has created a labor foresight unit. And this unit has a responsibility to make sure there is a good level of alignment and synergies between different agency and the private sector, and also our education system, to make sure that we have the proper inputs for us to act accordingly. But again, I think it's the most critical piece for us to look at the entire journey of our education system. And I think one of the most important elements as well in the education part, we need to accept the fact that we need a body to continuously assess our performance and give us the signal whether we are moving in the right direction or not. And I think we have also been blessed by having ETIC, one of the most important organizations that continuously assess our performance, our schools, our teachers, and the output of our education system, and provide us with the right insight in order for us to change accordingly. And one of it, whether we have the right output on our education system, either in K-12 or higher educations or vocational training that can meet the market requirements. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Let me take your point on the lifelong learning. You mentioned that it is a process and the different ages. So, Your Excellency Al-Amiri, when you look at the UAE and the reskilling projects you are doing, also during the different stages from very young also to adults in companies, which is definitely needed. I'm not born digital. I'm still one of the ones not born in the digital world. So we need to take all people with us, especially to reskill them in these new talents like AI and so on. So what are you doing there? May you share with us?
I would like to second what His Excellency mentioned. We need to look at the education, lifelong education process as a continuum and not a disruptive or disconnected realignment. So for those that are currently in the market, and for those that are in higher education, and for those students that are in the last few years of secondary education, it is an easier mix because you're responding to market demand in terms of the gaps, in terms of skills that are currently being developed and how you develop them. I won't tackle that part because I think we've all got it down to a science. I'll talk about the children, the 4, 5, 6, 7-year-olds, that today we need to educate in a completely different way and develop in them skills because we are responding to an unknown. AI is not a disruptive technology that you can map out. It is a paradigm-shifting technology. The same thing the microchips were, the same way the internet was. So it's going to create a future for us that is unknown to us today, that we can imagine what it's going to be, but it's not necessarily going to be that way, which means the skills and the values, like everyone here mentioned, becomes foundational and fundamental on how we educate them to become lifelong learners intrinsically. You build in them the necessary resilience, the means to acquire knowledge, the means to discern ethical values. Values have become ever more important in the lives of all communities and societies. And now, for the first time, education is going to play a vital role in developing that. And what does that move into? It moves us into us changing the role of the educator. His Excellency, the Minister of Education in Korea, mentioned something quite vital, which is what we're doing in the UAE as well. We're changing the educator's competency framework. They are now turning into deliverers and enhancers of knowledge and skills to ones that would also work towards enhancing and further developing values and instilling the right character and personalities in students. So we are operating today in two different paradigms. One of bridging gaps, ensuring the utilization of technology and those that are closer to the job market today, because we understand the job market and its demands. And one which is completely unknown to us, where we need to go back to basics, like I've mentioned earlier, and hone in and design the right skills and change the entire system to be able to do that.
Thank you. So changing the framework for the Maldives, it also meant introducing environment education. That's key in your curriculum also. Can you share with us this? Because we have on the one hand side the digital world, which is transforming, but of course we have the environment, which is transforming. And you have a special focus on this. Please share with us.
Yes. From the very beginning, when our first curriculum in the Maldives was introduced, even at that time, that was early in the 1980s, so when our first curriculum came in, even at that point, environment was a key aspect of our life, living sustainability, and also ensuring that the very vulnerable environment that's around us is protected. So with the launch of the first primary curriculum, national curriculum in the Maldives, we had environmental studies as a subject area, continuing from the very early years of the primary education and continuing so. But the recent shift that we have, however, brought is, while knowledge content has been the focus earlier, now we moved into more of a what we call as a competency-based curriculum, where we want to see skills being reflected in terms of their lives. So when the major revision was brought into the curriculum, in our curriculum in 2015, as part of the key competencies that had been identified. So there had been 8 key competencies identified at our school curriculum, and environmental sustainability, living with the environment, understanding the surrounding, is one key competency area that we have identified, which goes across all levels of curriculum or all learning areas. But still, we do have a dedicated subject that addresses into it both environmental studies and social studies combined together, working in it. So it starts even at the early stages, at the foundation stages, and go all the way up to the secondary level. So it remains a key. So what we do within the curriculum is trying to help students to understand sustainable lifestyles. There are life skills aspects that have been integrated into the curriculum, again, which ensures there's both conservation, but more to do with the self-practices. So what in fact are the skills one need to have? What are the habits that one need to acquire in order to ensure that we live harmoniously with the very delicate environment that is there? And I think the need is more important. It's not just in Maldives, I think anywhere in the world, because they need to understand the surroundings, they need to be able to respect and live with our surrounding, our environment, in order for us to live our lives better. And more importantly, at this age where we do talk about and where all of us are being impacted, not just small island or low-lying islands like the Maldives, but I think globally we see the effect of climate change. So there are more important reasons why environment, sustainable living has to be part of our daily lives, and more importantly, included within our curriculums. Thank you.
Yeah, we can learn a lot of you. You have started really early with this, and His Excellency allows. I cannot let you go without telling you, you have a special program in Nigeria, which is called Teach for Nigeria, and I myself, I have done once a school lesson as a minister with students on this, but you're also investing a lot in apprenticeship programs, and I'm passionate about those. Because in Austria, for example, 50% of young people choose an apprenticeship program, and you are also investing a lot in this in your country with all your young people. So I wonder what you do and what are the next steps in this type of very important type of education, the apprenticeship.
Yeah, thank you. 2 important things you've mentioned that we're doing in our country today, Teach for Nigeria, and giving a lot of life skills to tens of millions of our young population. As I said, we have a very youthful population, very unique demography in the world, with over 65 million people between the ages of 15 and 29 years, and 5 million people entering the new people entering the workforce every year. So as a government, we have to be very pragmatic and very directional and longitudinal in how we cater for these young citizens. I Teach for Nigeria is a major plan that the government is deployed, where we get teachers, a form of teacher corps, going to the rural community to teach. And what we're also doing, we're deploying online digital lessons, training at the foundational level, where we have live lessons in English, arithmetic, science, basic sciences, and at the senior secondary level, also in mathematics, chemistry, physics, biology. These lessons are designed for kids in the rural area to be able to log on and get instruction from one of the best teachers. And they're also carefully designed in such a way that they're live lessons, very interactive, where the children can ask the teachers questions at real time. And whatever they're not able to learn well, those lessons are saved. They can go back to review those lessons and learn more. And also, we're working on some AI technology that also help customize those lessons to the needs of each student. They can now go back, get summary of those lessons, as well as other reference points where they can go, check those references to expand their knowledge in such courses. So this program has been going on and is very successful, and we're planning on expanding it to every part across the country. And as we use these online lessons in the foundational levels of our education, we're also deploying that in the skill, where we are expanding 20 different skills to focus skills in areas of construction, automobile, renewable energy, solar panel assembling, and also transitioning to new energy, compressed natural gas, where we're retrofitting a lot of our cars to be dual energy between the PMS and CNG for better efficiency. And as we do this, and we're also focusing on areas of agri-tech and as well as livestock production, so to skill up a lot of these young people so that they can begin to be useful to themselves. And as we do this, the government has also put something together in forms of entrepreneurial grant to them. As they're finishing this training, this technical training, they have opportunities to get a grant, and in such way, if the grant is not enough, we're working with our Bank of Industry to give them single-digit credit, so that once they're trained, they can become entrepreneurs. You have young, energetic, very ambitious people, and we need to engage them, and that's what we're doing aggressively in engaging these citizens and giving them life skills to be useful to themselves, to the country, and the global world at large.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. Becoming an entrepreneur is a dream of a lot of the young people all around the world, in all your countries. Also, of course, in Saudi Arabia, Your Excellency, a lot of young Saudis, especially women, dream of and are going to set up their own companies, startups. They are going abroad, they come back, they bring the knowledge back. And this program, the Human Capability Program, is translating this vision into the very concrete world of them and is helping them. So to finalize our round, would you like to share with us your thoughts and your targets, your dreams, and what you're going to do on this?
Well, first of all, as I said earlier, I think we have a program that is going to provide a very good assessment of our ecosystem and make sure that we benefits from these programs in order for us to achieve the direct. One of it is basically diversity. We need to make sure that there is enough diversity in our education system and our market labor force, and in the same time, even in our leadership positions. So this is one of our main objective in the vision and also in the human development programs. But also we need to look at a very important aspect in order for us to achieve these objectives. First of all, the program has provided a very good initiatives and wide range of enablements. But there is a very important mix that we need to keep in mind, at least from my own experience. The first one, we need to make sure that we do things simple. Complexity, by the way, is easier than doing things in a simple way. Second, we need to make sure that we go to the basics. We need to think about the basic that is going to make the 80-20 rules. Third, there is always limited resources, and you want to make sure that you put your resources where it's really going to give you higher return. This is why in our education system today, we have focused on 4 main pillars. First one, which you just recently announced, is basically our National Curriculum Center. We want to make sure that the curriculum has the entire elements that to make sure we have the right knowledge, the right skills, and the right values. And this is very, very important. In the second, also we're going to announce, hopefully after the sessions, is basically the developments of our teacher institutions. Right now, this institution is going to be the gateway to school. We want to make sure that our teachers are well prepared and have the entire competency requirement in order for them to deliver. Because teachers and curriculum is a very important element for any education system. A third element, the ecosystem in the school. And I think today the technology is going to play a major role. Today we have put team together to envision how is the school will be look like on 2030 and 2035 and beyond. Maybe we're going to have a different setup of school. In the same times, we need to define the future roles of the teachers. Today, teachers is coming as a delivery model. But in the future, I don't know whether we're going to maintain similar model or they're going to be facilitator. And this is require a different set of training, different set of really expectations. And as Her Excellency mentioned, I think we need to look at the competency model of current and future teachers. And finally, we need to have a very strong, robust assessment model. We need to measure our performance. If we don't have a very strong system that measure our performance, we will not be able to really measure whether our initiatives and our works are really giving us the benefits or the expected result. And this is where the program, Human Capital Development Program, is going to play a major role. And in fact, this forum is one of it. Today, we think about learn, belong, and act. And I think this is one of the outcomes from this program, to bring a lot of brains and experts and talents into one roof and try to make sure that we have the right outcomes for not the current future of our generations, but also for generations to come. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for sharing all your experience with us, and I'm convinced the audience will take it for the whole day and will accompany them. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.